Um, we have a shocking situation right now with the underdog, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, up 2 games in the match. Call mom, text your buddy, time to come watch Chess TV. Nobody knows what's about to happen here.
Man, that is heartbreaking for Magnus. But if you're Maxime, you're keeping the pressure up, and I mean, he deserves the lead that he currently has.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's just, I mean, you know how good Magnus Carlsen is. Nobody needs to be reminded. That's why we're so surprised. That's why the stats favor him the way they do. But he has had so many good positions he fails to convert on. It starts to get in your head, right? Even if you're Carlsen, you're just not feeling it today.
Certainly not. I mean, that was just a one move blunder too. It was like, oh, there's a check, you win a bishop, and I was about to highlight how he had pretty good drawing chances, and that conversation went out the window real quick. And if we get to the current board state, Maxime has been completely at home sacrificing a pawn today. This is what, the third or fourth time even where he's been down a pawn in the early stages of the game. But White's king is in the center, Black is ahead in development. The bishop on g7 can be a monster going forward as it's on a long diagonal. But what do you make of this, Danny? I mean, is this actually a good position for Black, or is the pawn sacrifice not justified?
I thought you were going to say, was this a Sicilian or a King's Indian? Let's go to the Batcave and remind everybody what a weird transposition, right? It was, again, Magnus's early h4 attempt to confuse MBL. Maxime plays faster this time and a little better. As Robert said, he's been right at home, sacrificing, this is a very typical idea, because the risk of this is you're giving Tempe and dark square control along with potential on the queen side for the rest of the game, and that's why I called it a Sicilian. The structure is very much not a normal d4 game. And I like d5 for Black. I mean, I don't know. Again, it's a position where Magnus, with best play, should be converting. He's up a pawn and probably better. But the practical situation is very, very tricky.
It really is, because White's king is still in the center. Even if you castle kingside, you have your pawn h4, which leaves the square like g3 vulnerable. So Black certainly has chances here, but look at the clock. Maxime has sacrificed a pawn. He's now sacrificing an exchange, and he's down 40 seconds on the clock. So it feels like Magnus has to be better, and both players know it.
And I'm going to say Magnus has to win this game. I mean, this is a time for him to, be like, all right, enough of this shenanigans, Maxime, right? I've been better in a lot of these games. I'm going to convert finally. And, but I still love the way Maxime played. I mean, if you're going to, what do they say? If you're going to take a swing at the king, you best not miss, right? And he's going for it. He's playing aggressive chess, and he's putting pressure on Magnus. And to me, if there's an upset, that's the only way to do it.
Although, at what point do you say, I already have a lead, so maybe I don't need to play as riskily? There's that conversation to be had as well. I mean, you don't want to park the bus. This is way too early in the match to just sit on your laurels and say, I'm up 2 games, because Magnus will mount a comeback. But Denny, we look at the current position, and it's clear that White is much better. That knight is heading to d6, either next move or in the future. a7 is a problem. Black is relying on tactical counterplay thanks to this bishop on b7 and some attack on White's king. But if you're not able to accomplish that, you're just down a bunch of material.
I agree. After knight d6, if this trade happens, then it's Carlsen striking back, right? Showing everybody, hey, not going anywhere. Look at that. I like that move. Knight e4, willing to give back the exchange and be up a clear pawn if the endgame requires it. Nice move.
A nice. Queen a5. Tactically works. They'd rook on d8's under attack. I think that White's just in time here.
Yeah. Now you can put the rook on e1. I guess it's still a little tricky, right? You're still, you're not totally safe with a king that's open like this and your opponent maybe getting rid of your dark square bishop. So Magnus is going to take his time, really be accurate here.
That's a good point, because White isn't going to drop any material. You're going to remain ahead. And if rook to e1, as you're saying, knight will capture the bishop on e3, White's rook will take on d7. We'll see a series of trades where at the end of it, Black remains down in exchange and a pawn, but the king on g1 doesn't exactly feel completely at home there with some open space in front of it.
Yeah, let's show Robert's idea real quick on the analysis board. And I don't even know if there's any concrete, but he's just highlighting that if things like this happen, there's bishop d4, there's queen d1, and then the bishop into these squares. So this is scary. Carlsen and he goes for it. We're going to find out. The line is on the board with queen takes d7.
And queen d4, taking advantage of the dark squares with the queen rather than with the bishop, because actually bishop d4 would have allowed knight f6 check or something like that, which maybe not at that first moment, but there is always that potential. So queen d4 keeps everything together. Queen takes b2 at some point could be a threat, and knight f5 played. Wow.
This is one of those positions where don't let the eval bar fool you. Look at that. Yes, white should be winning, but computers are different than humans here. This is a super scary position, especially with only 25 seconds on your clock.
That was some nice tactical vision by Maxime.
Yeah.
So don't get mated on f2. Obviously, do not get checkmated right there. Queen e2,
right.
okay.
Less than ideal.
And white can play queen d2 and then king e2 and try to run away with the king, but black is stealing a bunch of pawns.
Yeah, but now you got to be careful. You'd have to take h5 with the pawn. Queen takes would hang the bishop. But Maxime, now approaching the 30-second mark, wants to keep the pressure.
And he's also considering, do I play queen h1, take on g2 with check, trade queens and take on b2? There are some opportunities to make a draw down in exchange in a simplified endgame. Not going to be very clear, but Maxime's going for it.
Yeah. Oh, no, he wants more. Keeps the king in the center. Oh, but now you can take g6 with check. Oh, but then queen takes g6 with check.
Queen f4, nice move.
Oh, what a subtle way to finish it. f7 can't be defended. That is a computer move in the middle of a nutty board. And Magnus Carlsen, as he arrived, finally,